Alright. So, it is Monday. We are live. We are picking back up with our needle felting along with Bob Ross, and I'm still really mad that the corner on this turned in. It's gotta be a me thing with this thinner felt, because we did it on the thicker felt and it didn't do this, and I'm really mad about it. But there's really nothing I can do about it at this point, except try to straighten that edge out when we get done. That's really all I can try to do. This side's straight. Why isn't this side? I don't understand. One of the great mysteries. But I don't have any more of the thicker felt, and this is our last one that we're following right now. So we'll just have to cope, I guess. But yeah, so we're following this along. Yesterday we got in our foothill background that we did end up covering up most of, but that's okay because I want this peeking out from behind. We are going to have a little bit more of this ground coming in front of it. Not much, just a little. But that's okay because, you know, it's better to have it than to not have it. Because then we've got a little piece peeking out here, and, you know, every so often you'll see a little bit peeking out from behind. That's okay. That's cool. That's fine. So today we're going to pick back up with putting our trees in here and taking them up the side. And then if we have time, because I'm starting a little bit later today, we'll come back in and start to put in the rest of our background for this section of trees. They're going to be a different color, so they should stand out against those, hopefully. And you know, we'll see what happens. So I've got Bob and Steve paused there for whereabouts we are. Oh, I need to get our padding here on our keyboard tray so I don't destroy the side of my leg. Okay. Now, according to our notes, this color tree should be the jewel color. So we'll go ahead and pull out some of that fluff. Just need a little bit per piece here. Okay, now for those that want to follow along, we've got the link in the chat. We're going to go ahead and pin that, and that link will take you to the tutorial in full on the Bob Ross YouTube page. And this is going to be our 6th session on this guy. We're moving a little bit slower on this one, and that's alright. That happens. Our mountains took a little bit of fussing to get in there. I might be able to get... Oh, helps if we get our needle together here. Just a little bit. You okay?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so this guy. Yeah, I might be able to get 2 out of this one. We'll see what it looks like. Now I am trying to keep the bodies of the trees a little bit more on top of each other, because I'm really just worried, or not really worried, but I'm just a bit more concerned with the tops of them. than I really am with the shape of them, because they're so smushed in there, you know. The smushing shape is fine. Alright, so I just want to get the little loose ends from where we just trimmed. I want that all tacked down in there. So just want to make sure that we are all good to go. And since we are using a fabric mat instead of a foam mat, I do want to pull up from that occasionally. Our mat's starting to show its long journey that it's been on. I think we can get a few more months out of it, though. I mean, we've had him a year now. And we've definitely put him through his paces, for certain. I mean, and it's not bad because, you know, it was really made for doing the critters, not necessarily the full-ass projects that we've been doing. So it's holding up pretty well. Okay, pop that guy back up there. I mean, it bugs me that it's all lumpy, but at the same time, it's nowhere near as bad as the other one had gotten, so far I'm still liking this brand on this mat. Excuse me. And the mat we're using was from Wool Buddy. We paid for that. That was not sponsored. We definitely bought that ourselves. Alright, so I kind of want these to get a little bit shorter as we are coming up the hill, because I don't want to completely lose our mountains here. We did a lot of work on those. We don't want them to completely vanish. So not really. Kind of defeat the purpose of putting all that work into the mountain if we do make it completely go away, won't it? Alright. So I'm gonna kind of put you about there. And it's perfectly fine to start with the height of your tree. You want to make sure that you're getting that in there. To where you want it to be. And the trees in this section, excuse me, the trees that are encompassing from here, probably essentially to here, they're gonna get covered halfway. By the other set of trees, but I'm not sure how far up it's gonna come. Excuse me, like it might just be the bottom that ends up getting covered. So I'm going to take a little bit of fluff here. And I'm just going to fill in there. I had a thinner spot. And it's not necessarily too terrible that it was there. But I personally just wasn't feeling it being there. Get our next bit of tree action here. So I didn't get as far on editing last night as I was hoping to. But I got a small amount done. So it's still something. Tonight I have to get everything scheduled for YouTube, because I never posted the couple of live streams that we did get done last week. So we need to get those posted up there. Guess we'll put you about there. Just Just making sure that the rest of this is gonna behave. Don't want it getting any ideas. Just because its tree friends are misbehaving. See, if you're coming in a sideways, or at least at an angle, sometimes you can maneuver your fluff around. Sometimes. All right. Very loud truck. There's been a lot of dump trucks going by lately. They're doing road work and water pipe work, and the one section of the road through town's been a mess for months. We haven't been able to properly get to our post office in forever. Like, we've had a gift that we need to mail out, and we just haven't been able to mail it. We're gonna have to go to a different post office. And then we never remember to have the item with us when we're near that post office. Oh, dang, that should have been taller. Can I pull you back out? Maybe? Yeah, cool. Okay. So I wasn't fully happy with that, because we didn't get too far. Try to adjust it. I mean, we could have added a little bit more on top of it if need be. But after I put that in there, I was like, oh, wait. That's the same height as the other one. And it kind of looks like it's all one tree. So we'll just come back in. And we'll just re-lengthen that. That's fine. It's all good. Alright. This isn't a bad color. We haven't, I was gonna say, we haven't used too much of this color, but now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, we have. This was Reggie's body color. Come to think of it. I'm pretty sure this was Reggie's body color. Let's see here. Well, where do we want to? I can make you be a little bit shorter. And that should be okay. And this guy is a little long. And that's alright, we'll just trim off the extra. And because the extra's a little bit big, we will just see about adding them in next door. See, that's fine. So I don't want to take these up over the top of the mountain, because then there would have been no point in putting the mountain in. So I'm kind of just leaving these, just kind of covering the bottom edge here. Right, because we worked pretty hard on these guys, getting their highlights in and everything. Now, if you want, you could have trimmed off that little bit of extra on the bottom. To me, it wasn't worth it. There wasn't enough there to bother with trimming, so I'm just going to flip the bottom of the tails up. And just work those guys on in. Alright. The back looks kind of nice too. Back doesn't matter so much, but it's not too shabby either. Let's see here. Get you popped into there. And we're starting to work our way up. That's a bit of a tail there. But I don't know if I want to... It's not really enough to do a second one. If I trim it, it's just gonna get put in the discard pile. You guys know I hate wasting art supplies. Alright, so I'm not doing too bad. We are continuing our march onward here. That's just a little drop of water. Background version is to send to you on Discord. Huh?
The thing I was working on?
Okay. Okay. So is that the one I use?
Mm-hmm.
It's the right type of file?
It's a JPEG.
Okay. Sorry, husband was working on a title card for me for one of the videos that we're gonna be having go up while we're away. Let's see, how tall do, I guess we'll make you about there. Here, I've got some bear and breakfast recorded that we're gonna put up if I get it edited in time, although I don't have to do that much editing to it. Famous last words. Still need to go back and listen to my sound levels. I think they're okay. We'll find out, I guess. But I can always attempt to raise me. But I've got 4 or 5 more paint edits I need to get done. One of them's done, we just haven't made it public yet. That'll be going public while we're away. Momo, what is the matter? Are you seriously mad because you didn't get to go out before I started?
Momo, chill out.
You just came in, my guy. This dog, you can't disrupt his routines. Was he having an okay pee time today?
Relatively.
Because he's been needy since like 8:30 this morning. I don't know if he was upset because my mom got up late. Because when I got up to pee around 9 because I couldn't wait any longer, she was like just starting the coffee. Which I thought was odd. And that might have been what he was upset about, that she wasn't up yet. But we did have a storm last night. It started thundering around 3. And then it kind of backed off. And then I don't think I heard it thunder anymore. But then it just kind of rained. And now it's humid as fuck out. It's terrible. August is back. And it was in the 60s last night. It was great. My mom's outside. It's cold. I'm like, no, it's not. She's like, you need to put a warm coat on. It's cold out here. I'm like, Mother, it's 69 degrees out. It's not cold. I'm not putting a coat on because you're cold. That's not happening. We are so excited for this trip. We can put the air conditioner at whatever temperature we want in a room. We're hot sleepers, so we tend to put it at like 70 at the highest in the room. It's usually around 68, sometimes lower depending on how hot we are. I'd rather be cold with a comfy blankie than overheating with a light blankie. Okay, so this guy. We had an awkward gap in between a couple here, so that's what we're gonna work on fixing it. Get to that. We got a little bit of Diablo playtime in last night. I think we're around 70. I think. Oh, are there any Cheez-It fans out there? We got a box of the small bags of Cheez-Its from Sam's because I was like, oh, crackers, and if there's any left I can have them for car snacks. They changed the taste of the Cheez-Its. I don't know if it was an accident, but I swear to God, the taste of the Cheez-It cheese now tastes like a Cheeto, except it's a cracker, and the taste profile doesn't match the texture profile in my brain. And I'm like, well, these are ruined now. So, I'm so mad. I don't know if it was because it was the big bag or like the big box, but now I'm afraid to even try the smaller ones. And the husband tasted it too, so it's not just me, which is what I thought it was at first. And I'm like, there's a weird aftertaste. It was not quite nacho cheese, but like it wasn't quite a Dorito, but there was like a weird burst of different flavor. And I'm like, what is this? This is not what was expected. So I had to go and replace my snack last night. And ended up with rice cakes. And some Harvest wheat crackers. So mad. I didn't notice it on the first bag I had when I was sick. Maybe it was because I was sick, so my sense of taste was all over the place anyway. But, my goodness, that was not the flavor it was supposed to be. And it was terribly, terribly disappointing. Alright, so I gotta remember these trees. Oh, nope, 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 nope. You get back over there. These trees are going to be getting a little bit taller now. As we are coming up our hill. So the bottom on this section doesn't have to be so clean and nice and orderly, because like I said, this is going to be another strip of land in here, and we're going to have another set of trees that are rising up that are probably going to cover this a bit. So I'm not being too worried about that. And I'm using acrylic yarn. You don't have to use roving. If you have a wool allergy or anything, it can be done with yarn. Kofi-Bot's here. Welcome, Kofi-Bot. Kind of messed that tree up going in. Which I was a little bit afraid of. But we can probably bring that guy around again. Without too much fuss, I'm thinking. Although our mat is really... our mat is starting to look like the moon. We've got... It's probably not coming across very well on the screen, so we're looking down at it. But it's getting a little cratery. Alright, let's get our next bit of tree together here. You don't have to use the water, it's just my hands are not super rough at the moment. So I'm having a hard time getting the fluff to do what I'm wanting it to do. And that's okay, it happens. I'm gonna see if I can just flip this tail up here. So it did have a little bit of a weird space between those two trees trying to form. Again, not gonna stress the bottom not being all the way down. That's not gonna matter. Not too much. Okay. I mean, we're not looking too bad. All right. Next bit of fluff here. It's getting really lumpy all of a sudden. Maybe about a year is all we get out of these fabric mats for the paces we put them through. Well, hopefully it'll hang in there until after our trip. And if I have any spending money left when we get back, I'll see about replacing it. Or I'll just ask for a replacement for Christmas. We can do that. Which will probably be what ends up happening. More than likely. I mean, I probably could have just taken that all the way back up. So now I've got a little short guy that I don't really know what to do with. I'll put you in my little tiny pile that I've got going just in case I have to patch anything. Alright, now I'm not picking up like a specific amount of fluff here. It's just kind of what you feel is right sort of thing. That's gonna be something that you're gonna have to judgment call, really, because it's like, it's really gonna be your preference. We're slowly getting there on this set of trees. And I tend not to move super fast when I'm doing this, just because I don't see the point in moving super fast. I like to take my time and think about what I'm doing. Be sure this is where I want it to be. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and gently. You would think with all of the tapping in that section, it would just be like pushing everything closer together. Now, I'm not sure how many more needle felting projects we're going to get done before the end of the year. So this is our last Bob Ross follow along, right? This is the last one of the season 3. We haven't done any of the other seasons yet as far as needle felting is concerned. I have to do the husband's Christmas present, and I want to start that by November, right? So I'm thinking when we get done this guy, we might try to do a little flamingo sculpture before we dive into the husband's Christmas present. And we're gonna do that on stream because he's gonna figure out what it is anyway, so it's fine. We need to do the mother-in-law's gift, and I don't know what that's gonna be yet. That might end up being a painting. So we might have to do some extra late night streams on that one. Because I don't think we're going to have enough Saturdays to get that done. Because I also don't know if I need to do one for her sister. So I don't know if her sister's going to be down here. Those are just things I don't know yet. Excuse me. That's a good sized tail there. Alright, maybe I can get one tree's worth of fluff from all the tails that we've been trimming here. I mean, maybe. We'll have to see. Supposedly you can wash this thing, but I'm afraid to. I would think that my washing machine would eat it because it's got the agitator in the middle. I wouldn't trust it even on the most delicate of delicate cycles. And then I would have to get a new one anyway. Alright, let's put you there. We have our county fair coming up, I think, in like a week or two. And then we have our craft fair that closes out the summer coming up as well. Just a little bit of a guy there. That's alright. That's a tiny amount. We're not gonna bother trimming that. I don't know if school started yet here. I know I've seen the school buses out. I don't know if they were practicing their routes or not. But I wasn't up early enough to see if they were out and about picking up kids this morning. We always started like school first day back in the middle of the week. But then again, we were also right after Labor Day, so that made a little more sense. Since the beginning of the week was a holiday. I have to remember to vary our tree heights over here. So next tree needs to be either taller or shorter. Okay. Not looking too bad here. I didn't get the bottom half on that one quite wide enough to overlap and cover up any issues, so I'll just take the tail and flip that up, and we'll use that to kind of fill in any spaces. Oof. Time to change how we're sitting there. Probably due to turn our mat a bit. Our side's starting to bulge out a little. Oh no. Alright. And so this was all of our little discard pieces. Can I? No, I'm not going to be able to get you into a piece of a size that I can do a whole lot with, unless I do a bunch of fussing. Really don't feel like doing a bunch of fussing, so. Trying to change how I'm sitting without hitting any wires. We've done that before, and things have gone boop, and things have not worked right, so we're trying to be real careful. Do we want to go taller? If we go taller, we'll be into the bottom of the cloud. I guess that's not so bad. Okay. I've been noticing on this color that there's some either natural colored fiber that didn't get dyed that they added to it, or there's just like some grayish neutral tone that they added in. Not necessarily a bad thing, just an observation. Alright, so we're not doing too bad here. Alright. This guy we probably should make a little bit shorter. Not like terribly shorter, but probably just a little bit. So maybe there-ish. Now, it's not the exact same way that Steve did his foothills. His foothills are a little bit more rolly, number one. And it's hard to say what kind of tree he was implying was supposed to be there because of how he did it. Usually Bob will take the brush and he'll go up and down with the brush. He'll have it vertical, the bristles. And he'll go like on the corner and it'll be like little lines on it. Steve flipped the brush horizontal and just like kind of flicked them up. So, I mean, there are more than one way to get there in the end. But, sorry, someone got up and vanished, and I don't know where they went. I was trying to see if I could see them. So, I mean, there is more than one way to do a thing. You just kind of have to find the way that you prefer and kind of go from there. Is he behind you?
No, he's just laying there.
Oh, okay, I didn't see him. Okay, that is not gonna be long enough, so put you over there in our little pile. Our growing pile. Alright. So hope everybody's doing well on this Monday. Now you have them.
Give me a minute, buddy.
Do I need to get him?
No, he just has to wait a minute.
Okay. I'm kind of surprised you haven't been leveling an extra character in Diablo. We've been enjoying some of the new stuff for the new season. The Hellgates are kind of fun. We're still kind of meandering our way through it, since we haven't hit max yet. There's been so much to do, though. It's a little overwhelming at times, because it's like, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. What do I need to do for the season? Let's see about this guy.
Come.
Come on, Momo, let's go. I was unsure about this color when we picked it, but I think it's gonna work out. Like I said, it's not super dead ringer for the color that Steve picked, but you know. There was never any guarantee that I would be able to exact color match yarn to what I had on hand for what he was doing. Some shades I did add on to our original purchase for this project, just because this time was going on. I was like, you know what, I really need to pick up this color. This will make my life a lot easier. Sort of situation. Alright, I'm just brushing down the back. You don't necessarily have to. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and I find it helps the front lay a little bit flatter at times. Especially if you're starting to get a lot of layers built up in one specific area. We're probably going to need to get a little bit more fluff out of the bag. I don't think this is quite enough that we've got pulled out to finish filling out that section. So that one kind of went in a little crooked there, but that's okay. It's alright. I think Momo just wants to be outside because the sun's out. But oof, did it get humid. I'm surprised it's so bright and sunny right now after just the unbelievable downpours we had earlier. I was kind of, even earlier this morning, it was just so gray. I accidentally turned my alarm off somehow. I thought I hit snooze and not dismiss. I actually planned on being up earlier so we could get some more work done on this guy, and yeah, that didn't happen. Didn't help that I didn't fall asleep till probably close to 4:30. And then Momo was waking me up at 8:30, being grumbly. Zuzu had come and laid with me, and he was taking up the lion's share of the bed. He starts out laying alongside of me, right? And then as the night goes, he starts turning and turning and turning so that his ass is trying to move towards the center of the bed. And I'm like, buddy, that doesn't work that way. Not when Daddy's in bed with us, because I can't move over. I got nowhere to go here, bud. And then I'm kind of stuck in between them, and if I have to get up to pee, I have to perform all kinds of parkour and gymnastic feats to get out of bed with the way our mattress is. We had a local store foam mattress one, and it was okay for a little while, but now it's we feel like we're a turtle trying to get out of it. We can't maneuver. It's so difficult to get up. And if we sit on the edge of the bed, we sink in. And if anybody's sitting next to you, you kind of roll to the person sitting on the edge. Kind of annoying. That's on our list of things we need to replace. We were originally going to try to hold out to replace that until we figured out if we were going to move or not. But we might end up doing either those U-Haul shipping boxes or a pod. So we know they deliver to our area because we've seen some people have them in their yard. That might be how we move things so we don't have to get a moving van and do it ourselves, because that was horrible. So if we did the moving van, then we'd have to rent a car and drive back to get our car. I don't know why that section looks lighter all of a sudden. I don't know if that's actually a little bit thin and it's the snow color shining through, but it's the only spot I really see it happening. So I'm just gonna grab some of our extra here. And we're just gonna kind of fill that in. But we still have to go to the area that we're thinking of moving to and see how our allergies handle it. And see if it's going to be a better fit for us. On paper, it looks doable. If we can find a house in the right price range. Which looks promising. To a degree. But we might have to find an apartment that we can rent until we get something lined up where we're thinking of going. It's very much out of this state. So we don't know what is going on, but every time we leave this state we feel better. We get like within 20 minutes of the border, like leaving Oklahoma and coming into Arkansas. We're about 20 minutes away and we start to feel shitty and we're like, damn, what's going on? We leave the state and head into Oklahoma, we feel better. We didn't notice any of our usual constant, or what feels to be constant, aches and pains while we were away over the winter. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But we think it was because of our allergies. It was hard to tell how we were feeling on the way home because we had COVID on the way home last time. Do, 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 do. Alright, so we're going to have to get a little bit more fluff out. It's a shame too, because I could probably... Can I? I'll still have to get some more fluff out, but I hate to waste this much fluff. Like, it pains me deeply. Kind of overtook that other tree there. That's okay though. Not a huge deal. Like I said, I hate to waste art supplies, even though it was probably a minuscule amount of fluff. It still pains me. All right. Gonna have to pack my art supplies. For the trip. Because I might have time to do some stuff in our smaller sketchbook. That's way more fluff than we need for this last little section here, but that's okay. We'll get it figured out. Okay, so this guy will get kind of popped up into here. Did he potty?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. Okay, let's go ahead and trim that guy off. That's a good chunk there. So make sure all of our loose ends are good and attached in there. Alright, so we're going to gently pull up. And then we will get this guy. Don't know how much editing I'm going to get done this week because I really need to get some house chores caught back up. Really need to mop the kitchen floor, or at least the more visible areas, the more high traffic sections needed mopping. I really need to shampoo a rug, like really, really bad. Kind of depends on how hot it's going to be. Although at this point, I think we just need to do it and be done with it, because I think it's going to be hot from here on out. So maybe 1 to 2 more trees we need to squish into there. Just making sure that little bit that we flipped up is attached. feels pretty good. Alright, so we're not doing too terrible. And up here is getting a little bit stiffer compared to down here. You can see how much looser things look. Just by how the base craft felt is behaving. Like if this tree is robust enough, I'm okay with there just being one more in here, but can we get just one in here? I mean, I probably could. I might just have to patch the spot next to it. Let's see here. Trying to get in here. I want to be against the tape, but not necessarily through the tape. If that makes sense. Because like stabbing through the tape doesn't really do us any favors. But I definitely want to be on the edge here. As I'm probably getting my head in the way. I might need to add a little bit more. On this edge here. We will see. Oh yeah. Definitely need a little bit more right in there. But let's finish attaching this piece. Before we get too caught up into fixing. Any spots that need fixing or adjusting. As I'm stabbing holes into the tape, left, right, and center. Okay, let me peel that up. Alright, a little bit over is not terrible because we're gonna clean that up when we cut the extra off the edges. That section got a little bit lighter than I wanted it to be. So I'm just gonna come back in here. And clean that up. Like our lines right here, we've got a little bit of wiggle room on that edge. If it really super comes to it. What was that?
Bottle.
Alright, that's not terrible. Okay. So let's grab our jewel color here and we'll tuck that back into its box or bag. I think we might be all done with the jewel color. So we can set that aside. And that one can return to its place on the fluffy wall. Alright, so we're going to come back into our seafoam blue. And we're going to start to put in our next bit of land in here. Now I'm going to wait to put in our land up here, I think, until after we get the river in. I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, we could add it now, but then I might still have to make some adjustments to it. Once the river goes in, I'd kind of rather have the river in and then add that over top of it. To cover up where the edges meet, I think. I think that would just work out a little bit better. Excuse me, allergies, voice shitty. I think that would be a little bit better of an option. For us in this instance. So we'll probably end up going with something like that. So we won't be able to put this color back up on our fluff wall for a little while. Okay, so you can see we're kind of fighting a little bit with the bottom edge of our trees that we just put in. Not like super fighting them, but they are like kind of getting pulled in different directions here. So I just want to make sure that they're tapped in. I don't necessarily have to cover the very bottom edge of them in this section, but I do want to make sure that we've got some kind of our base color here for this section overlapping their bottom edge, just to keep any potential issues from happening. Okay. Trying to turn our mat every so often. Which might be helping a little bit with our wear on it. So our ground cover here doesn't have to be like super perfect here. But I'm trying to get the shape right. At the very least, for how I'm wanting it to look. Just trying to make sure I give us plenty of room to work with here. And we're going to take this, we're going to fill this entire shape in, or at the very least close to it. Okay. So I'm kind of just working in small bits of this fluff, just to make it a little bit easier. I want a little bit more on this bottom edge here with these tree guys. I mean, this section will end up getting covered up with the new row of trees coming in, but my brain's being like, no, we're gonna make sure we're happy with this before we go too far. So, and that is well within your rights to do so. If your brain's not happy about it, keep at it. Until you're happy enough to move on to the next part. I mean, that happens sometimes, especially with my brain. Okay. Didn't think that was quite that much bigger of a piece, but I guess it was a little bit bigger. Go ahead and gently peel that guy up. It's kind of pushing our trees back a little bit. Kinda. It's not completely shoving them back, but it's doing a little something something. Tend to like to overlap my colors, or just where more of, you know, where any color really meets up with another color. I just prefer that they overlap a little bit. Usually saves me some trouble in the end. We can get it to do that. Okay. We'll get this section worked into here. Okay. And we'll just kind of brush that back down there. Okay. Grab our last little bit of fluff that we have pulled out here. And let's see here. Add that piece into there. Okay. That was a very strange sounding vehicle. Kind of sounded like a jet trying to take off. That's one thing we're not near, is near an airport here. Well, maybe it was in the background of the music I was listening to instead. That's possible. Okay. So this is starting to come together pretty well. Slowly, but you know, we're getting there. I will say, it does feel like it's getting hotter in here, unless it's me, which is entirely possible. But it is in the, in the 80s. So that was an odd sound. Kind of sounded like one of the wind chimes ripped apart. No, that's a car. You didn't have anything ordered, right? Because that was weird. Didn't think we had anything. What was that about? What is that for?
Oh, okay.
Huh?
This is stuff I ordered. Like the hat and everything.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yep.
Alright. Well, that explains why it sounded like somebody delivered something, because they did. Alright, so we'll get all of this tapped into here. And we might just call this a shorter stream today, because we don't have that much time left. And it's getting kind of toasty in here, so I think what we're gonna do is pause it there. So next Sunday, when we're back together again, we will finish filling in this section and then probably start on the next color of tree. And if we have time next Monday, we might be starting the river. We will see. Don't know yet. But I think that's a good place to pause it for now. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this afternoon. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow the socially links down below. They will take you to the Instagram, the Ko-fi, the X, Twitter, and the YouTube channel. I'll try to get this week's live streams starting to be posted over there today. If you've missed any parts of any live streams that you would like to go back and see the rest of a project or anything, most of the live streams have been archived on the YouTube channel on various playlists, so don't forget to check that out. And if you would be so terribly kind and give a sub over there and some likes. The sub on YouTube is free. It's different than the sub here. So that would help out the YouTube side of things greatly. We are not monetized over there yet. We're still short on subscriptions and watch hours. But I think if we can get the subs there, we'll definitely get the watch hours. So I will see everybody on Thursday for Coral Island. You guys enjoy your week. And until next time, everybody, you guys have a good one.